It is Sunday, March 6th in the NBA, and I'm back with my 3 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Man, oh man, yesterday was a day. Get those brooms out. An 0-4 day. We reverse swept about as bad as it possibly could get. Klay Thompson, I don't know what he was doing all game. Tyrese Maxey had 17 points for a year and a half. Lonnie Walker played a few minutes, not shooting. And then Jacob Podol, I'm pronouncing your name wrong on purpose, just absolutely had a terrible day. It was bad, and there's no excuses. We're going to get back after it. We're going to move on. We're going to learn from those mistakes, continue to manage that bankroll, be more selective in the plays that we're doing. Now, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are going to be transparent, regardless of if it's a good day or a bad day. We have not had a good March so far, and I won't lie to you guys, it's a little bit disappointing, but that's what we got to do. Post All-Star break is very tough to bet in the NBA. Hopefully we can get into a little bit of a groove, because in the actual playoffs it's pretty tough as well. So I can promise you, can't get possibly worse than yesterday. So the only play to go is up, and we're going to keep getting back after it. Continue to do that research. Continue to manage that bankroll. Don't force any bets today just because we had a terrible day yesterday. We don't need to do that. Again, shout out to all our COS All-Stars, the real MVPs, the real people that get me out of the bed in the morning after reverse sweeping. There's nothing worse, no worse feeling than not only losing my own money, but also losing your guys' money. So we're going to get back after it. The real MVPs, our newest All-Stars, the Golden Weenus. Love the name. Bob, Steve, Dylan, John. It's mine TV, Elias, I think that's how you pronounce that, Alex, Chris, that Yank, James, and Mase. Hopefully I pronounced those guys right. I promise to you guys are the real MVPs. From the bottom of my heart, we appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. If you want to support us, we would really appreciate it. Click the join button on the channel, or click the first link in the pinned comment down below. Look, I won't waste any more of your time. It's all business today. Let's get into my best bet of the day. It's Rudy Gobert, over 12.5 rebounds, minus 130 on DraftKings. Now, before all the FanDuel users are out there asking, what do I like it? Do I like it at 13.5? I do, but you should try to get a DraftKings or Caesars Sportsbook, because both of them are minus 130 at the moment, whereas FanDuel's like minus 105 for 13.5. So maybe wait until closer to tip-off. Maybe you get an alt line for this one. Now, this is the ultimate buy low spot for Rudy Gobert. Him and the Jazz team, coming off a game that they just got absolutely boat raced by the Pelicans, losing by like 30 points. Rudy Gobert ended with 11 rebounds, which he did have a bad track record against Valanciunas, so that was a given. But look, that was a blowout, and I think Rudy Gobert will get back to playing his normal minutes today. Now, this game could be a blowout, and while that could be a little bit concerning, I still think Rudy will play his minutes, and we'll talk about it in a second. Now, the Thunder have had a habit of keeping games close. That's what they've done all season long, been a very good team against the spread. While they are like 12, 13-point underdogs today, they've still been good at keeping games close. That's just what they do. Maybe they let it go away towards the end of the third quarter and fourth quarter once SGA gets taken out of the game. But since the All-Star break, we've seen Gobert have a pretty good track record. He saw his minutes restriction get lifted. He's at 11, 17, 14, and 17 rebounds, hitting this over in 3 of the 4 games. Now, Rudy Gobert on the season hit this over in 35 of 48 games, 72.9% of the time, and he has played fewer than 30 minutes a ton of games, or at least 16 games, still hit the over in 9 of those games. So even if he doesn't play a ton of minutes today, still think he's more than capable, as long as he can get that 25 to 29-ish minutes, which I think he's more than capable of getting that today. Now, Gobert also great track record against the Thunder. In his last 4 against OKC, 17, 21, 18, and 14 rebounds, hitting this over in all 4 of those games. Those included 2 games that he played 27 and 29 minutes. So he can do it in not a lot of minutes. In the last 15 games, Thunder have allowed the 3rd most rebounds per game to centers. And in the last month, we've seen a ton of centers go clear in this over with ease. Just like I said, 3rd most rebounds per game to centers. We've seen Jokic have 16. Even Jacob Podol, I'm pronouncing his name wrong on purpose. He stinks, and he had 17 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson, 17. Nikola Vucevic, 15. Joel Embiid, 19 rebounds. All these guys who average a ton of rebounds per game easily hit this mark, and no one averages more rebounds per game than Rudy Gobert in the NBA. It's ultimate bounce back spot. You know SGA loves to drive, and obviously we'll see Gobert just kind of camping out in the paint. He'll be guarding Isaiah Roby, who does shoot some 3-pointers, but not really concerned overall by that. I think Rudy Gobert will get us back on track. He was the best bet of the day a couple days ago, and he cashed it with ease in the 3rd quarter. I think we'll get sort of the same kind of thing today. He could cash us by halftime, for all I know. The guy could easily just abuse them on the offensive glass too. So I'm relying on Rudy Gobert over 12.5 rebounds. 13.5, I'm a little bit skeptical about that, because 14 is a lot of rebounds, but still 13 is, and I think Rudy Gobert can get that with ease today. Now, my next play, it's a guy we love, Mikal Bridges, but I'm taking its under 16.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, feels tough to go against my guy Mikal Bridges here, but there's a couple reasons why. Now, number one, This is not a reason why, but this is an early tip-off. I believe at 3:30 Eastern time. I didn't check if it was ABC, but I would imagine this is an ABC game. And, I'd imagine the NBA wish they could reschedule this one because we'll see the Suns without Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and now Cam Johnson. So, obviously, you think about those first two guys, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they command a lot of defensive attention. Those are the guys that also get Mikal Bridges a lot of open shots. Well, that's not going to be the case today because just in the 5 games without Chris Paul, we haven't really seen a huge increase in field goal attempts for Mikal Bridges. It's not like he went from shooting 7 to 10 times to like 18 times. That's not what we've seen. We've seen him go under in 3 of the 5 games without CP3, and 4 of those 5 games were at home, where he notoriously plays much better and shoots better. On the season, he's shooting 38.3% from the 3-point line at home, but put him on the road, 34.5, going down 4%. His field goal percentage goes down a whole 6% on the road as well. Now, the Bucks are a team that can give up 3-pointers, but it's not like this is a terrible matchup for him. But still, the Bucks don't have to be concerned about stopping CP3. Don't have to be concerned about stopping Devin Booker. They're just going to be looking at a guy like Campaign. They'll give Drew Holiday on him, and then they'll likely put Chris Middleton on Mikal Bridges, or probably Mikal Bridges, but Grayson Allen can stop him too. Now, Mikal has gone under in 45 of 63 games played, 71.4% of the time, and he has gone under in 23 of 28 road games so far this season, 82% of the time. Now, if you look at his performance on the road against Milwaukee, including the NBA Finals, he was a no-show in most of the Finals games. You'd see him play so good at home, then they go to Milwaukee, complete no-show. He's gone under in 5 of his last 6 games in Milwaukee, and like I said, in the Finals, he was not good, attempting just 7 field goal attempts, only scoring 7 and 4 points, not even coming close to this line. Look, I know Mikal is coming off a 20-point game at home versus the Knicks. You very rarely see him go back-to-back 20-point games, especially when he has to be relied on as a scorer here. Now, look, that was against the New York Knicks. This is a game where we saw in that New York Knicks game, DeAndre Ayton, where were you at? You were an APB out 4 for 10 from the field. Guarantee you, Monty Williams is one of those guys that gets those guys back to bounce back, and Ayton will be showing up today. And he'll be shooting a lot more than he was in those previous games. But in the end, I think this number is a little bit too high for Mikal Bridges. Don't love the matchup for him. Don't love that the Bucks will be able to focus on him a little bit more, kind of like we saw with Tyrese Maxey and the Miami Heat yesterday. We really did want Harden to play, but obviously Harden didn't play. Now the Miami Heat had to focus on a guy like Tyrese Maxey, and he goes under. That would be the case today, where we could see the Bucks focus a little bit more on Mikal Bridges. And look, Mikal has still gone under this line in 9 of 13 games against the Bucks, and 3 of the 4 he went over were at home, or obviously they were on the road in Milwaukee today. So I like Mikal Bridges, but I'm just taking this under today, under 16.5 points. Now, my final play will be a lean as of this moment, and you'll understand why. It's a COS Hall of Famer, Darius Garland, over in points plus assists. Consider his PRA line too if you only have PRAs. Now, I made the mistake of not taking Darius Garland last game. I won't let it happen again. Now, today, as of 6:12 a.m. recording this, 1, we don't have a line. 2, we don't know if Rajon Rondo or Karis LeVert is playing. And so stay tuned to the pinned comment down below with 1, the line that I take, and 2, we see exactly if Rondo and LeVert are inactive or active. But as of 11 hours ago, Rondo was doubtful, LeVert was unlikely to play. So the biggest one, in my opinion, will probably be Rondo. We don't want him to be out there, but still the Cavs, I believe, are 4.5-point favorites today, over under 209.5 points as they take on the Raptors. Now, assuming Rondo and LeVert are both out, which it appears to be like that, Garland basically becomes the only guy in this offense that can really create his own shot. I mean, you look at it, you saw Garland return 2 games ago, and he logged what? He logged a ton. What did he have? He had 33 points and 4 assists versus the Hornets. And then last game against the Sixers, 43 minutes of playing time, having 26 points and 19 assists, crushing whatever line he gets today. 45 points plus assists combined. And he's been ridiculous the last 4 games, shooting 22 plus field goal attempts in 5 straight. He's a guy that I believe that trend will continue today against the Raptors. Now, look, he played 43 minutes. That injury, whatever was holding him back, that's a kind of a lost cause. It's no longer there. They hardly played Brandon Goodwin. We'll see Garland kind of carrying the load. Now, I imagine this line will be in the low 30s, anywhere from 29.5 to probably 32.5. That's what I'm hoping for. If it's less than that, fine, I'm all in. Now, I assume Rondo and LeVert will be out, so we'll look at the guys that he'll be starting with, Garland, that is. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, and Isaac Okoro. No disrespect to those guys. They don't really do a lot on offense. They don't really create their own shot. They're going to need Garland to get them open looks, and then they're going to shoot it. So leading to a lot of assist opportunities for Garland. Now, look at the guys coming off the bench. They really didn't play Brandon Goodwin last game. We see Chetty Osman, Kevin Love, and Lamar Stevens. Both those guys, most of those guys, need Garland to create their shots. So you're going to see really maybe 2-3 shot creators on the roster for the Cavaliers today. They have a limited rotation with Rondo and LeVert out. And look, Garland's going to have to carry the load like he's been doing for the past couple months. Now, it's a decent matchup for him in 2 games versus Toronto. He's had 21 points and 8 assists and 22 points and 8 assists in those games. So 29 and 30 points plus assists, which is going to probably be my guess, finishing a little bit below the line. But you got to keep in mind, one, those games were in November and December. Garland playing at his absolute best nowadays. And in the first game, Colin Sexton was active, going 4 for 18 from the field, and Ricky Rubio was coming off the bench. And then the second game, you saw Ricky Rubio start with him, so obviously his usage goes down, and Garland and him just played 29 minutes. It was a Cavaliers 45-point victory, yet he still got 30 points plus assists. I don't see them blowing at the Raptors today, and if they do, it's going to be because Garland's carrying the load. And so moral of the story, with Rondo and LeVert likely both out today, which I imagine they are, it's going to be Garland's way or the highway, in my opinion. He's going to have to carry the load, and Garland is also a COS Hall of Famer. Like I said, when you're down like we were yesterday, we're going to need these guys to pick us up, and that's what the Hall of Famers do. We saw Darius Baisley do it for us. Probably should have taken DeJounte Murray yesterday, but either way, you can count on the Hall of Famers to get it done. So Darius can do just that. I'll keep you guys posted, obviously, with the line down below. So we want to make sure that LeVert and Rondo are both out, so that about a ton of different times, but that's a key part of the equation. We don't want those guys to be active today. If either of those guys return, maybe we'll reassess exactly what line we get, but still, if we see Garland going off, it would not be surprising. So I'll let you guys know in the pinned comment section down below. To wrap it up for you, we're taking Darius Garland over in points plus assists, we're taking Rudy Gobert over 12.5 rebounds, and we're taking Mikal Bridges under 16.5 points. Likely my only 3 plays. If Rondo and LeVert are randomly added, both back active, might avoid Garland, but probably will still keep taking him because he's still the man, and he's going to have to carry that offense regardless of those guys are back, even though they'll probably be a little bit limited with their injuries. So those are my 3 plays. If you want to support us, become a CLS All-Star, I would really appreciate it. Let's get back after it. Let's bring out the brooms for a good reason tomorrow. Let's go 3-0 tonight. I appreciate you guys still for tuning into the videos. Have a great Sunday. Go into the week making some money, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's have a good day. I promise it will be that. See you in the next one. Peace.